Guys, waiting for others to join and we'll start. Two more minutes, guys. We'll start at 16:05 sharp. Okay, guys, so let's start. Please excuse me for my voice and if I get stuck somewhere. Uh, so before we start with the topics, guys, we'll quickly do a quick revision, and before that, we'll discuss the assessment which was shared, right? So I have not shared the individual feedbacks with all of you, but I did check. Sorry, I did check all of them, all your practicals and all your machines which you guys created. One request, guys, please, when I'm giving you some password or something, please try to stick to that. Because what I do here, let's say I've asked one of you to create 4 virtual machines. Now, even if 10 of you are creating, so I have to check 40 virtual machines, right? So what I do normally, I use that I do this checking or cross check using a script, using a PowerShell script. Sitting on my computer, I'll just put a list of these 10 computers and a username and password, and I'll check whatever the configuration you have given, is it according to the assessment which was given to you. So if you keep a separate password, then I'll have to do that work manually, or I'll have to rerun the script those many times. So if I'm sharing any password, if it is not working, let me know. I'll change the password, but make sure you stick to the user ID and password. It becomes easier for me to check your assessment. And not only here, in your live environment also, when you get something to work on, please make sure to work as it is. I mean, a small and here we had Linux also, right? In Windows is not case sensitive, so that is fine. Sometimes a user, you can write with a small u or capital U, that won't make any difference. But in your Linux, if you do that, these are two different meanings, these are two different users, these could be two different directories. So make sure that whenever a task is given to you, you try to stick to those credentials. If it is not working, like it wasn't working for Amit, he quickly raised it and he informed me, so I shared it with you guys. Okay, that is one feedback. uh, Subnet, I think everyone got it correctly. I did not see any practical where you did not have two subnets or where you could not create one. I could see a few of you used the default one and you created another one, and a few of you worked on both of the subnets and worked. So that was a good part. Two VNets in each location, that was fair enough. All of you got that correctly. One Windows VM in one VNet, one Windows VM in one VNet, another Linux VM in another VNet. So few of you goofed up here, thoda bahut yahan wahan bana diya, but ultimately all of you had four machines. That is fine. Four extra disk. Uh, Most of the guys got it correctly. A few of you had only three, maybe because you did not select the correct size. I requested for standard HDD. A few of you gave me premium HDD. That was a default option. So while selecting a disk, you do get an option. So make sure you go through that and select whatever is requested. यहाँ पर चार मशीन में बहुत ज्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ जाएगा, but when you're deploying 100 machines, 200 machines, और ये 5 GB का डिस्क है, when it comes to 200 GB, 500 GB, 500 GB के 100 machines, it becomes a huge difference. You can use the calculator. We have already learned how to use Azure calculator. You can open the calculator and see what is the difference. It is a significant difference for sure. User ID and password, I have already shared the feedback with you on that. I'll just open that image from where I'm reading. I mean, the assessment image which was shared with you guys. Okay, so make sure that you use the as it is user ID and password. If it is not working, let me know. NSG without HTTP and HTTPS, all of you got it correctly. All of you. I didn't see a single NSG जहाँ पर किसी ने goof up किया है. But few of you, I saw you guys did an extra work. Now it doesn't make any sense, or pointing out people who did it, who did not, that is not our aim here, और उससे कोई फर्क भी नहीं पड़ रहा है, right? So let me show it to you. What did you guys do? Few of you, what did you do? Let me see if I have any energy here. I think the Azure portal is slow today. It is working a bit slow. I did check my internet connection. It is working fine, 100 plus Mbps, but the portal is working slow. So please bear with this portal for some time if it takes time to load. Where can I see energy, guys? I am here. Let's say I am on home page. I want to see any. I want to see any of the energies. How can I see? How many methods are there?
By in virtual machine, you can go to networking part.
Okay, virtual machine. VNet, are you talking about? Or networking,
Yeah,
this
you
one?
can go to media networking. You can go to networking. Yeah,
Okay, and where is it? Energy.
this is the rules, right? Energy rules.
What is the name of this energy?
Uh, KVM1 energy.
Right. Correct, guys. Right. So this is the network interface, and this is the NSG we have. So I asked you guys that I do not want HTTP and HTTPS. You guys have simply, what you could have done, you could have left it, you could have unchecked it while selecting it, while creating a new machine. Let's say I'm creating a new machine. So here, let's say if it is a Linux machine, I will only check SSH and I will keep these box unchecked, and that is it. The moment I keep this box unchecked, they are already being blocked. Under which rule? Who can tell me? And the another way to find NSG is here. You can type a network security group here, and you can see the all. This is classic. Ignore the classic ones. We are never ever working on classic, guys. Classic is Azure used to have some क्लासिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, उसमें बहुत कुछ चीजें अलग है. बट नाउ इफ यू आर शोइंग, ये क्लासिक भी मतलब कुछ 6-8 साल पहले का है. सो नन ऑफ यू will have to show that you have worked on classic, so don't even bother about it. So this is one way to see all network security groups. Okay. So let's say this is a network security group, guys. So here, have I selected HTTP and HTTPS? Am I allowing them?
No.
So are they allowed, or because I have not even denied them, what is the status then?
You have not allowed now. It's not selected even.
But I haven't denied them, have I? If yes, where? I haven't allowed them, that does not mean I've denied them. If that is the case, how? Could you explain? Because I see many of you created, you guys allowed RDP and you denied HTTP and HTTPS. Ultimately, I got my result. Okay, but it is always recommended to have a better design and lesser your work. So was that correct to deny them separately, or if I do not allow, it is automatically considered to be denied? If yes, how? Who can explain quickly?
Is it like deny all inbound, but except RDP, some sort of like that? Like if you have given access to RDP, apart from RDP, every thing else inbound is denied.
Exactly, guys. Here, if you see, this rule says everything is denied, and there are only 3 exceptions. 2 were by default, and you added a third one. So if you had this rule already in place, you didn't have to add another rule which says HTTP and HTTPS denied. I hope all of you got it. Even if you add that rule, it is not going to make any difference. वो एक ही काम कर रहा है, but unnecessary you're creating your extending your work. Is it clear, guys, to all of you? ये error समझ में आया? The one which I'm talking about? Anyone who did not understand what I'm talking about? Yes, people who worked on the assessment talking to you. Anyone of you who did not understand?
No, understood.
So I hope it's clear for everyone, right?
Yeah.
One more
Yes.
thing I noticed, a Linux machine had IP address where I specifically requested that Linux machine should not have a public IP, right? Linux machine I wanted without public IP. What I wanted to check your practical, one quick question, guys, with you. Looking at this practical, now I'm saying Linux should not have a public IP. So how will I connect to that Linux machine? Just looking at this practical in front of you, this assessment which you guys already created. How will I connect to that Linux machine?
From Windows VM.
Which Windows VM? Location
all
A or
four
B?
All 4 are in peering, so you can connect from anyone.
Perfect. So
I
this is what I
have
wanted to
put the
check. I
application.
wanted to, yes, one more feedback, guys. Not all of you पेयरिंग सब उतने अच्छे से नहीं कर पाए. पेयरिंग था, 2 networks में पेयरिंग काफी बढ़िया था, but I wanted all 4 networks to be connected because I wanted to log into this VM of yours, Windows machine, और यहाँ से SSH करके I wanted to access your Linux machine, which worked in few of your cases. किसी की किसमें नहीं काम किया. but that doesn't matter, हम individually यहाँ पर नहीं discuss कर रहे हैं. So this is the feedback I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, I hope you have got it. Not assigning a public IP, it's a very simple thing while creating a machine. Sorry guys. I hope all of you know from where we can uncheck the public IP. The portal is a bit slow today, so I'll try to cover theory part. Here it is. Public IP, select none. That's all you have to do. So if you select none, your machine will be without a public IP. So guys, anyone has any questions related to VNet before we proceed with our next topic within VNet? Obviously, we are not done with the VNet.
Soil by one question regarding disk. एक बार बता दो ना अगर possible है तो फिर मेरे से नहीं
Sorry?
बताओ.
Sorry, what was that?
HD disk for disk.
Right.
I was not able to add it.
Yes, you pinged me,
Wait,
but I
correct?
asked you what is the error? What error did you get?
Like it was just showing HDD, like you can add HDD disk, not the HDD one. आपने जो पिछला असाइनमेंट दिया था ना, HDD था, right?
Right.
तो वो कर पाया था मैं, बट HDD का ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहा था मुझे.
You click here to create a new disk. Okay. Are you clear till here? That you click here for a new disk?
Yes.
Okay. यहाँ तक सही है? Let me go back. While creating under disk option, okay, you get this option that you can assign a disk. You can either assign an existing disk or you can create a new disk. Okay. You click on create and attach a new disk. क्या नाम देना है आपको disk का? You select that here. What kind of disk are you selecting? Snapshot है, कोई storage blob है? इन दोनों में से कुछ नहीं है. We haven't discussed that yet. Storage अभी हमने शुरू भी नहीं किया है. So a new disk, an empty disk. Unless I'm specifying anything, it is implied that I'm asking for a new empty disk. अगर जिस दिन मुझको चाहिए होगा assessment के में क्या I want a snapshot or a storage blob, I'll mention that. Not only me, live environment की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. If no one says anything, so it's only empty disk. And this is the place from where you can change the option. Here if you see, and most of you have done this go up. I saw premium SSD. What is this LRS? We'll discuss that later. That is a part of storage. I saw premium SSD. What you guys had to do, click here, change size, select here, come to standard HDD. This is what I asked for. And then you can select here, resize it to 5 GB and click OK. This is what you had to do and click OK.
Got it, thank you.
Clear?
Yes, perfect.
Anyone else who has who got any question related to this or related to this part? नहीं समझ में आया? Because most of you have done this goof up. I think the concept is clear, but the only thing is that you guys were in a hurry or not sure why, but it happened. Most of you just gave me, I asked for a standard HDD, you gave me a premium SSD. Do you want to see the difference between this? Okay, many things are added here. Let me remove them first and we'll show it to you. But I hope all of you know how to use this, right? We have been doing this already. We have done this multiple times. I guess all of you, are you comfortable with using Azure price calculator? Anyone who doesn't understand this, how to use this, how to export, save, share, how to delete this? I don't want to delete this. I have kept it for some purpose, so I'm not deleting, but I hope all of you are comfortable with this one, right? We practiced it a lot. So maybe you guys can go ahead and see it for yourself that if a client is asking for standard HDD, and if you're giving him or her a premium SDD, what is the difference between this price? You can see that. Okay, this sort of low level diagram, इस तरह का कुछ ना low level diagram में ऐसी चीज आती है. Then here if you click on this, it will take you to the another page, and then you will know कि हाँ आपको क्या बनाना है इसमें से. ये एक पूरा purely application का है, so maybe you will not understand this properly. Something like this you will get, jahan par ultimately you guys will have to create I mean, I hope most of you know Arbaz here, right? Now Arbaz has started working already, and what he has been doing is just creating VNets, creating subnets, creating virtual machines. That is what he has been doing on Azure, and is working as an administrator, right? And that too, he says that he's not alone with that. Whenever there is a time to create a VNet, there's a complete team, कोई senior architect होगा साथ में, and they will monitor your work. So it is not that rocket science. So if you have any fear in your mind, please do not have that. काफी हेल्प मिलती है आप लोगों को. You just need to know your basics very clear. कोई आपको basics वहां पर नहीं पढ़ाने वाला है, right? No one will come and tell you that these are the steps. Okay, if you have to create a virtual machine, please go to home and click on virtual machine. No one is going to teach you this, right? VNet, a virtual network, it's a big thing. यहाँ पर हमको काफी छोटा लगता है ट्रेनिंग में, but it is a big thing. पूरा का पूरा वर्चुअल नेटवर्क उस पर डिपेंड करता है, कनेक्टिविटी काफी चीजें उस पर करती है. अदरवाइज इट्स अ सिंपल टास्क. यू सिंपली क्लिक हियर and you go here and you look for a VNet and you click create a VNet. So do we have anyone who cannot create a VNet? Do we have anyone in this batch who cannot create a VNet? Obviously talking about people who have been joining the session from day one. Anyone who's confused with the VNet, and especially when you have the CIDR block and numbers and everything, IP आप लोगों को नहीं डिसाइड करना है. नेटवर्किंग टीम से सारी डिटेल्स आपके पास आ चुकी है. You just have to implement that infrastructure on portal. Anyone who doesn't have that confidence that I can do it? So if you think that this is a small task, guys, trust me, this is a big task. And if you are you have that confidence, you are confident enough that you can do this, then you are getting ready for this, right? इसके लिए भी पूरा टीम वगैरह आपको पूरा हेल्प करता है. They will not give it to you directly. और हैंड ओवर करने से पहले एक आर्किटेक्ट उसको डेफिनेटली चेक करता है. So do not have that fear, but the practice is the key. Make sure you keep practicing. Okay guys, now let's start with the technical thing. We have already spent 20 minutes on feedback और बाकी सब इसमें. So if you guys do not have any questions, I'll quickly ask a few questions on VNet, and we'll proceed with the next one, with the next topic within VNet. So guys, in VNet, if I want to connect these two virtual networks, what kind of VNet peering it is?
Local.
Local
Okay.
peering.
And if I want to connect these two VNet peering, then?
Global.
And now let's say these two are connected. Okay. Does it mean these two are by default connected?
No, I think.
No, it is not. Yes, you're correct. VNet pairing, it is not transitive in nature, right? Remember this jargon. I have told you, I have been telling you this many times. Use jargons in your interview. That will give a good impression. So VNet pairing, VNets, they are not transitive in nature. What does it mean? जो अभी हमने discuss किया बस वही. Okay, just because these two are connected and these two are connected, that does not mean ये दोनों फिर से आपस में directly connect हो गए. If you want these two to get connected, you will have to create another VNet pairing for these two. Clear, guys?
Yeah.
To all of you?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. What are the components will I use for a site-to-site VPN? Yes, yes. What is a site-to-site VPN and what are the components will I use?
Site-to-site pairing is where two virtual machines will be connected from two different directories. And the components that are required is virtual network, subnet gateway, and virtual gateway, then enough public IPs, enough IPs, public IP, and what else? Connectivity.
Okay, at least you tried. Anyone else? प्रैक्टिकल तो छोड़ो यार, थ्योरी भी नहीं पढ़ रहे हो क्या आप लोग? At least focus on theory guys. इंटरव्यू में theory में ही आंसर देना है, right? So this is a straightforward answer. बहुत बेसिक चीज है इसमें आप लोगों को चाहिए. One is a VNet. By the way, you never say connect computers. You always say VNet connectivity. ठीक है, ज्यादा better लगता है सुनने में. Components needed. One is will require a VNet. Obvious, it is an obvious thing that will require a VNet. एक यहाँ पर, so दूसरा में भी किसी और directory में होगा, is जो ही answered. Next thing will require a VNet gateway. And what is that gateway? It's a gateway subnet. एक सबनेट चाहिए होगा हम लोगों को जिसका नाम होगा gateway subnet. This is very crucial information which you have to say in your answer. Right? Gateway subnet नाम का एक सबनेट चाहिए होगा हम लोगों को. Then a local network gateway. Why do we use this local network gateway? What does it represent? A local network gateway क्या represent करता है ये आपके नेटवर्क में?
So local network gateway is the location where we enter the details for the remote tenant or cloud, which we are connecting to.
Right.
Basically, the VNet we are connecting to on the remote cloud.
Right. Instead of location, use the word component. And instead of tenant and cloud, I will say network. Network is the best way, because where do we use site to site? Is it only for between Azure to Azure or cloud to cloud? Where do we use site to site? First, tell me that. Site to site VNet connectivity I'm doing over the VPN. Site to site VPN connectivity. So what all it covers? क्या क्या चीजें cover होती है उसमें?
Like
Sorry,
different cloud.
okay, different cloud is in Azure to AWS. Is that you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, what else?
Different organization. Like if in
Within Azure?
itself, yeah,
Okay.
within Azure.
What else? Can I use it if I want to connect my on-premises to my cloud?
Yes, we can do
Yes.
that as well.
Right, yes, we can. And now you know why won't you call it cloud to cloud? Because you can connect your on-premises also. So you'll say local network gateway. Here will input the information of other network. It could be anything. It could be Azure to Azure, a different directory. It could be Azure to AWS. It could be Azure to GCP, Azure to IBM Cloud or VM Cloud, anything. Or it could be Azure to on-premises. Next is PIP. What is PIP?
Public IP.
Public IP. Whose public IP here we're talking about? The different networks public IP and also our public IP. Both networks will require a public IP. Okay. And which of the networking concept will work here, guys? Which we have been discussing about day one se jo discuss kar rahe the hum, that private IPs cannot talk to each other. So we have one public IP and on the header, जिसके नीचे multiple private IPs होंगे. Yes, guys. Which concept will work here? Private IPs in two different networks, can they talk to each other? Let's say you have a company and I have a company. You have your own private network, I have my own private network. Can these two talk to each other by default?
No.
No.
So how
So
does that communication work?
Over the
NATing.
NATing.
NATing, right? And what does it require for NATing?
internet.
Switch router.
Router.
तो यहाँ पर कहाँ राउटर मिल रहा है आपको? ये नेटिंग कहाँ पर होगी? What do you think? आपके इसमें जो पब्लिक आईपी हम यूज कर रहे हैं नाउ, दिस इज वर्किंग फॉर नेटिंग, राइट? वहां से जो भी प्राइवेट ये आ रहा है, रिक्वेस्ट आता है उस नेटवर्क से, वो पूरा जो है यहाँ पर नेटिंग के थ्रू ये होता है, एंड इट विल कम विद द हेडर ऑफ दैट पब्लिक आईपी, और सेम हमारा ट्रैफिक वहां पर जाएगा. बट माय क्वेश्चन इज कि ये सब कहाँ पर हो रहा है? कोई नेटवर्क का आईपी आपने दिया है या कैसे है? डिड यू कॉन्फ़िगर एनी राउटर? डिड यू कॉन्फ़िगर एनी नेटिंग? कहाँ पर किया आपने ये? Yes, guys. All of you know the answer, I'm sure about it. It is just about scratching your head and connecting two concepts.
Is it the subnet playing the role of NATing?
Could you elaborate? Subnet, how
Like the
subnet will?
The gateway subnet?
Yes, but could you elaborate? What do you mean by subnet? Is subnet itself playing a router's role, or how?
I think we give an address range, right? So it picks.
Okay, one quick question. I'm sure all of you know this answer, and all of you will answer this, and you will come to the answer in a minute. Let me just open a notepad here. 10.0.0.0. What is the usable total IPs I have? Total IPs. Using this subnet, what CIDR, what is the total IPs I have for this network?
256.
256. I'm planning to have one subnet, only one subnet in this one. So what is the CIDR block I'll use?
Same.
Same. Guys, what about others? Are you getting it? So how many IPs am I getting? 256. This is total number of IP. What are the usable IPs I'm getting? Anyone else other than Amit? What is the number
251.
of 251? Why 251?
5.
Why 251?
5 are
5
reserved.
IPs.
Reserved for
are
what?
reserved.
One goes to the network
Which one?
0.
Network.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then one goes to DHCP
DHCP. Then
and
Broadcast something.
broadcast. Yeah. 2.
broadcast. Which one? What is the IP which will go to broadcast?
Yeah. Sorry. No.
Last.
Broadcast goes to 254. Yeah. The last one goes to broadcast.
Router.
Which one?
2.
2 and 3 is for reserved by Microsoft.
This is for
Router.
here it is. So did you get the answer, guys? कि router कहाँ पर मिला आपको? मतलब ये जो netting हो रही है पूरी आपकी, एक public IP you are using, and using that public IP when you're communicating with some other private network. So it is obvious that a netting कहीं तो हो रही है, right? So now you know कि netting कहाँ पर हो रही है. The moment you created a subnet, yeah, Amit, your answer was right, but you had to explain it. Because not the complete subnet पूरा काम नहीं कर रहा है. The moment you create a subnet, subnet ने कुछ 5 IPs reserve कर लिए. इसमें से one of them is for the router. Clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So we read about local VNet, global VNet, VNET Peering. Okay, what are the good practices or what are the requirements of VNet peering? This answer I'm talking about. ये हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था काफी डिटेल में. So what are the requirement? Do you guys know it? Anyone remembers it? कुछ 4-5 conditions है उसकी. What are those conditions? Not even conditions, but statements है वो. But I told you VNet को जब भी आप explain करोगे, you will have to remember this. Yes, guys, anyone? I hope all of you have the access to this OneNote, right? It's very simple that you can set up between two virtual networks or Azure platform. It can be same region, different region. Only one thing I asked you to remember is CIDR block should be unique to set up peering. So make sure guys you remember these things. Otherwise आपको आता भी होगा और इंटरव्यू में नहीं बोल पाओगे तो interviewer is not going to put a camera in your brain and then check कि हाँ इसको आता है यार चलो ले लो बोल नहीं पाया तो क्या हुआ, right? That won't happen. So now let's discuss. We have only 2 minutes. We'll spend these 2 minutes again on revision and question and answer. And once we come back, we'll again talk about the VNet. उसमें जो हम लोगों ने कुछ points छोड़े थे, like forwarded traffic, उसको हम आज discuss करते हैं. And then we'll be done with our VNet का एक segment. VNet is very vast. इसमें point to site बाकी है. This will do आराम से. इस वाले section में नहीं कर रहे point to site को हम लोग. Right? So VPN. Express route, why do we use express route? ये भी बताया था मैंने. Why do we use express route, guys?
To connect this Azure to this thing on premises server.
Can I use express route to connect Azure to Azure or Azure to AWS?
No, it's only for that on premises.
Right. Can I use VNet over VPN to connect between Azure to Azure, which are in same tenant? Different subscription, but same tenant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can.
Yes, we can. And that is what we are going to do. तो एक refresher भी हो जाएगा आप लोगों के लिए और आज के सेशन में कुछ टेक्निकल भी हो जाएगा. And let's see how it goes. और उसमें जो remaining concepts है वो भी मैं cover कर लूँगा. Which part do you think will be skipped when we do VPN connectivity within Azure single subscription? Sorry, within single tenant different subscription. Which part out of this will be skipped or which component will be gone?
Local gateway, network gateway.
Okay, let's see. We'll try to do that now. Okay, I'll stop this. We are joining the same link without any break immediately.